I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Adlan Amagov. He finished a number of guys. He was like a spinning back kick guy. And he me up, and then I think a round or two later, hit Jon with that spinning back kick.
Did he drop him?
Drop him.
Oh! Amagov is a scary, scary guy.
Up the opening round, there's that spin. Put on a show.
In the world of mixed martial arts, MMA, there are only a few fighters who leave the sport with an undefeated record in the Ultimate Fighting Championship, UFC. One such name that often goes underappreciated is Adlan Amagov. A powerful striker, with Chechen roots, Amagov was a force to be reckoned with inside the cage.
And trying to work towards it. Wow!
But in 2013, he suddenly traded money and fame for the peace of home.
Not only did he leave the UFC without a single loss under its banner, but he also had
Amagov's scary. TJ's in trouble. He's in big trouble. Trying to finish it here. Big shots. It's over.
an impressive moment that many fans still talk about, knocking Jon Jones down in a training session. But who exactly is Adlan Amagov? What was his journey like? And why did he walk away from the sport at the peak of his career? This script will take an in-depth look at his life, career, and the legacy he left behind. Early life and background. Adlan Amagov was born on August 27, 1986, in the Chechen Republic, Russia. Growing up in the war-torn region of Chechnya, Amagov developed a strong and resilient character. From an early age, he was exposed to martial arts, particularly wrestling and sambo, both of which are deeply ingrained in the Caucasus culture. Like many Chechen fighters, Amagov honed his skills in combat sambo, a Russian martial art that combines judo, wrestling, and striking. His natural athleticism and aggressive fighting style made him a standout talent early MMA career. Amagov began his professional MMA career in 2007, fighting in various Russian promotions. His unique blend of striking and grappling quickly earned him a reputation as a dangerous opponent. He showcased an ability to finish fights in spectacular fashion, often securing knockout victories with his powerful kicks and punches. With a background in sambo and an improving skill set in MMA, Amagov caught the attention of larger promotions, moved to the United States and Strikeforce. In 2011, Adlan Amagov signed with Strikeforce, a major MMA promotion that was home to some of the best fighters in the world at the time. This was a significant step up in competition for the Chechen fighter. Amagov made his promotional debut at Strikeforce, Challengers 13, where he showcased his dynamic striking and finishing ability. He quickly became a fan favorite due to his exciting style and highlight reel knockouts. One of his most memorable moments in Strikeforce was his spectacular knockout win over Anthony Smith. Amagov's vicious spinning kicks and unorthodox striking combinations left a lasting impression on the MMA community. With each fight, he proved that he belonged among the elite. Joining the UFC. When Strikeforce was acquired by the UFC in 2013, Amagov was one of the fighters who transitioned into the biggest MMA promotion in the world, making his UFC debut against TJ Waldberger at UFC 166. Amagov demonstrated his ferocious striking and grappling abilities. He won the fight via first-round knockout, sending a message to the welterweight division. Amagov followed up his debut victory with another dominant performance against Jason High, securing a unanimous decision win. His ability to control the fight both on the feet and on the ground made him a serious threat in the 170-pound division. Despite his success, his time in the UFC was short-lived, and he left the sport with a record of 13 wins, 2 losses and 1 draw. The Jon Jones training session. One of the most talked about moments in Adlan Amagov's career wasn't even in an official fight. It happened behind closed doors in a training session. While training at Jackson Wink MMA, one of the most renowned gyms in the world, Amagov reportedly knocked down then UFC light heavyweight champion Jon Jones during sparring. This story became a legend within MMA circles, showcasing just how powerful and skilled Amagov was. Although the details remain mostly private, the mere fact that he was able to drop one of the greatest fighters of all time speaks volumes about his ability. Why did Adlan Amagov leave the UFC? Despite his success in the UFC, Amagov made the surprising decision to walk away from professional MMA. Many speculated about the reasons behind his retirement. Some reports suggested that he wanted to focus on his personal life and religious beliefs, while others believed that injuries played a role in his decision. Another factor could have been the political and cultural tensions surrounding Chechen fighters in the UFC. Fighters from the Caucasus region often faced unique challenges, and Amagov may have chosen to step away from the sport to avoid unnecessary controversies. Whatever the reason, he left the UFC with an undefeated record within the promotion, something that very few fighters can claim. Life after MMA. Since leaving professional fighting, Adlan Amagov has largely stayed out of the spotlight. Unlike many retired fighters who transition into coaching, broadcasting, or business ventures, Amagov has remained relatively private. However, he is still revered by MMA fans, particularly in Chechnya and Russia, where he is seen as one of the most talented fighters to have ever emerged from the region. Legacy. Adlan Amagov's career may have been short, but it was impactful. He demonstrated the power and skill that fighters from the Caucasus region possess, paving the way for future generations of Chechen and Dagestani fighters. His highlight reel knockouts and dominant performances in Strikeforce and the UFC serve as a reminder of what could have been had he continued fighting. Furthermore, the story of him knocking down Jon Jones in training only adds to his mystique. It leaves fans wondering, how far could he have gone if he had stayed in the sport longer? Conclusion: Adlan Amagov's journey in MMA is one of talent, dominance, and mystery. From his early days in Russia to making waves in the UFC, he showcased a level of skill that few could match. Though he left the sport early, his undefeated UFC record and legendary training session against Jon Jones ensure that his name will never be forgotten in MMA history. Whether he ever returns to the sport or not, Amagov's legacy as a feared and respected fighter remains in.